Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, evening, whatever time you're gonna watch this video, whatever time I post this video. Right now, I'm currently driving through the town of Frankton, Indiana. This is a small town with a population of 1,879 people. The population is 1,879 people, and people per square mile or population density is 1,768 people. And this town is 55 minutes away from Indianapolis. It is 20 minutes away from Anderson, Indiana, which the population there is 55,000 people. It's a small city, basically. And it's 11 miles outside of Elwood, Indiana, which I've already done a video on Elwood, Indiana, so go check that video out. I mean, basically, since this town is such a small town, there's no real amenities here. I mean, basically all you have here is you got a Dollar General, and you have like maybe 1 or 2 gas stations. Other than that, there's no real amenities here. So if you need to do like some grocery shopping, or you need a place to take your vehicle for servicing, unless you know somebody that can do that in their own garage or whatever, you're gonna have the 2 closest places where you can drive to where there's some amenities like that will either be Elwood, which is 11 miles away from here, or you can drive in Anderson, Indiana, which is 20 miles from here. Now, once again, Frankton is a relatively affordable place to live. Housing prices here are not too expensive at all. I mean, I will say right now, I have not seen any houses around this area for sale. As I told you people before, with the house, I mean, here in Indiana, as in many parts of the country, the housing market right now is pretty hot. I mean, even though it's winter, and the other day we done got a whole foot of snow dumped on us, the housing market out here is still pretty busy. It's still pretty hot. I mean, like a lot of your lower price houses, investors are buying like hotcakes. And I imagine you do got a few people that are buying houses for their own personal purpose. But nevertheless, the housing market's pretty busy. You got people buying houses here left and right, it seems. So any houses that come up for sale that's priced right and it's in a decent area, I can't emphasize this enough, you're going to want to go ahead and act on it immediately if you want that piece of property. Because if you don't, I can guarantee somebody else will beat you to the punch. And given that this is a small town of less than 2,000 people, I mean, this is one of those areas that are desired by many people. I mean, like I keep trying to tell you people, you got a lot of people that are leaving the metro. You got some people that are even leaving the suburbs, and they're moving out to smaller communities like this. Because A, people are looking for more affordable housing, and they're also looking for quieter and safer communities. And in my humble opinion, the housing prices in many of your suburban areas have gotten ridiculous. So you got a lot of people that, due to that, are wanting to leave the suburban areas, as long as, you got a lot of people that are wanting to leave the city and the suburbs because the housing prices in those areas have gotten so expensive in many parts of the country. And some of the areas that might be more affordable are not going to necessarily be the safest place to live and raise your family if you have family. Now, as y'all can see, I'm driving through the trailer court here in Frankton. Now, me personally, I'm not a big fan of living in a trailer. I'm not a big fan of trailer courts. I mean, a lot of these trailers are like smashed in together, in my opinion. But I don't know what they charge for rent here. I don't know what the situation is here. But I'm pretty sure if you're wanting to live in this town, these trailers are, I would imagine, the rent would be rather affordable. If I had to take a wild guess, the rent for one of these trailers would probably be about, I'm going to just say $500 or so a month. I can't imagine the rent here being much more than that. I could be wrong though, who knows, but I'm just going to take a guess and say that rent would be around $5 a month. And and like I said, there's places like this in other parts of the country that are affordable like this. But I do have to say another thing about Indiana, which is worth discussing briefly at least, is when you look at the statistics concerning the overall economy of mid-Indiana, i.e. any area within an hour of Indianapolis. If you look at the Department of Labor statistics and you look under the section where it breaks down all the numbers concerning the economy, such as unemployment and job growth and things of that sort, Mid-Indiana has had a positive job growth, and the unemployment numbers of Mid-Indiana have been below average ever since the 90s. Now, some of these areas that are doing good today, if you were to look at their numbers, let's say 15, 20 years ago, some of these places even just 5 years ago, the numbers would have been a lot different in a bad way. But if you look at the numbers of Indianapolis, i.e. Mid-Indiana, you'll find that the unemployment numbers have been fairly solid for the last 20 plus years. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and bore everybody by talking statistics because that's not what this channel is about. This channel is about driving through cities and towns, well, smaller cities preferably, and smaller towns, and exposing areas that are affordable for people to reside, and at the same time safe. And as I will tell you people over and over and over, if you choose to check out an area to want to move to, I mean, you can look at the crime data if you want to. Sometimes the crime data serves to be pretty accurate, and sometimes not so much so. So like I told you on previous videos, the best thing that you can do is go ahead and look at the crime data, but then just kind of, do your own ops. Go to that area and kind of look for yourself and see how you feel. Talk to a couple of people who you see out and about in the area. Go to the local shopping centers, go to your local gas stations, and talk to some of the gas attendants, talk to the cashier. I mean, many of them are most likely from that area that you're wanting to inquire on. I mean, that you're wanting to learn more about. Now, if you ask your realtor those type of questions, I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of them are not going to answer those questions because, for one, by law, they're not allowed to. Because if they do, then they could get in trouble for, I don't know what they call it, but it's got something to do with discrimination of an area. I mean, I think it's a little ridiculous, but whatever. But anyhow, most realtors are not going to answer directly, rather to move to a place or not to move to a place, because of the discrimination laws concerning the Housing Act or whatever. I don't know the details of it. I just know that most realtors are not going to directly be able to answer questions concerning whether an area is safe or not safe. So those are that's the type of information that you're going to be better off doing your own due diligence. Like I said, drive around the area for yourself, look around, see how people walk, see how they carry themselves, talk to a couple of people that might be out and about in the community. Like I said, talk to your cashiers at the gas station and at your grocery stores. Maybe somebody at your job might know the area, so it wouldn't hurt to pop a few questions to them. But to me, if you take that advice of doing your own observation, at the end of the day, you're going to learn a lot more about the area than you would by simply looking at statistics. mean, because to me, if all you do is look at statistics, and you go solely off of statistics, there's a lot of neat little areas that I think are neat and they're very affordable. And if people were to check those areas out, they would find that they like those areas. But if you look at statistics and then you make your decision entirely based on statistics, you're going to miss out on those type of areas. Let this guy go. This area right here is downtown Frankfurt. Frankton. Downtown Frankton. Not a whole lot to this downtown. Just basically a couple of little buildings. That's about it. Typical small town atmosphere. Now there are small towns that have much nicer downtowns than this one, but whatever. Alright people, I'm about to cut this video off. I feel like I'm driving in circles at this point. I probably am. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video off in a minute or so. Alright people, I'm cutting this video off. Everybody have a blessed one, and I will see you on the next video.